Jeanette, are we good? Time is 7:01. There are 6 members of council present. A quorum is established. I call this meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It's good to see so many folks here. Thank you for coming out and participating in your local government. Pam, I know you're back there. If we need to grab a couple chairs, okay, we'll work our way through it. Appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you so much. Item number 3 is public comment. First on the agenda, we have Mr. John McCracken. John, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I saw in the paper, I guess after your last council meeting, about the camera, license plate readers and that sort of thing. And as luck would have it, I watched a documentary on that just a week or 2 before, and it was not Mount Carroll, it was New Orleans, but their crime had actually dropped 27% when they put in more cameras and synchronized those and made it to where individual citizens such as myself or anyone else could voluntarily let the police department or the sheriff's department see the film from their cameras if it was needed. It wasn't like you would sign up and they see everything you see. They don't want to. I learned a long time ago that people that commit crimes will be totally against any kind of transparency, and people who don't intend to have pretty much nothing to hide. So I wanted to encourage the city to look into, I love the license plate reader cameras that you have. I think you would actually, the police department has apprehended criminals, and for someone who's had crime committed against them, the only consolation often is the person who did it got caught. And if we don't do everything we can to make sure that the people who do those things get caught, then we're letting down the victims. So I just wanted to encourage us with, I know in that program they had businesses who would put cameras in their business in a strategic location, and that actually the city could read that camera at any point that they wanted to. So if there was an accident at this intersection, then they could look at a camera and they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. So I saw several examples of where someone told a little exaggeration or a fib, and then when the film came out, it was very obvious what happened. So rather than depend on eyewitness testimony or things of that sort, I just encourage the city to make as much use as we can of the cameras, and hopefully somebody can set up a program for that.
Yeah,
and I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, John. And while you're here, just to make sure you have a good understanding of what we got, and I hate to put our chief, is Chief back there? There he is, Chief. But thank you for the comments about our flock camera systems. We first priority in this community is keep our community safe, to be a safe place for our families, businesses, our citizens, and that we're promoting an environment where people feel that they have safety and security. So that's a big part of that decision we made. It's been a big help to our police department. We have instituted the body-worn camera program, which has been a big hit also, because like you said, oftentimes people tell one story and then the cameras will tell the facts. So that's been a big hit. But as to your third point about having cameras in the community, I'll just let Chief quickly talk about their attempts to create a registry to be able to not access the cameras, but talk to the homeowners or property owners about what their cameras may have picked up. So Chief, if you just want to quickly talk about that.
With the new webpage that we had, and it's not integrated yet, we're still in the very early stages, will be a QR code that citizens can register their camera, the type of camera, things like that. And again, we don't access that camera. It just makes it easier if there is some type of crime. We can look on a register and say, this person's registered, they've got cameras, and we can go. It makes it easier than before when we had vehicle break-ins and subdivisions. We would literally knock on every door down the street, hoping we got lucky and, get a camera. So this would just register and just say, this person has a camera, and make it 10 times easier and speed up the investigation a lot quicker. That's still in the early stages, but we
that's, a start's what counts, you have to get started to get it done. I appreciate you letting me.
John, thank you.
I appreciate what we're doing so far. Thank you.
John, thank you for your service to our community. Council members, I think you do know, but John McCracken's a recipient of a Key to the City. He was a great community partner here, served on the Board of Adjustment for years, and he chose recently to step down, enjoy retirement a little bit more, not have as much stress in his life, but we certainly thank him so much for his service to the city of Mount Sterling. Thank you, John. Next on the agenda, we have Janice Banks. Janice? Janice is not here. Okay, well, if Janice comes in, we'll make sure she's heard. Next on the agenda is Chris Baird. Chris, welcome.
Thank you. Well, hello, I'm Chris Baird. I'm a resident of Mount Sterling here. Me and my wife moved here about 13 years ago. Decided to raise our three children here, 2 boys and a girl. I'm here for a couple reasons tonight. Number one is to thank you all for the discussion around the support for Gateway Regional Arts Center, Parks and Rec, tourism. And I feel like you all have taken more than enough time for advertising that, for the initiative to support it, for getting the word out, and for hearing the community. So I thank you for that, and I'm also here because that's important to me. I believe in all those things because for a small town like this, I think they create the culture that makes Mount Sterling memorable. I'm not going to remember getting up and driving to work today, but I remember my kids scoring a goal at Parks and Rec, or Gatewood being a photography project at the Regional Arts Center, or Adelaide and me going to the Small Town America Festival. I think those are the things that make a community, and I think a lot of people feel the same way I do. And at some of the forums, I know there's been people come out and speak, but I feel like there's a silent majority of people who do support that. And they want the parks and the Regional Arts Center and the tourism and all those things to be supported, because without those things, there's nothing for the museum or for the advocate to read or write about. Those are the things that create the culture. So I believe there's a support here, and I know there's some people here that participate in those organizations. And so if you're here and you do support the Regional Arts Center or Parks and Rec or the tourism, I just ask that you stand with me. Is there anybody here tonight that does support that?
I'm going to stand. Well played. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate the supportive comments for all those entities who are doing amazing things in our community. Thank you. Next on the agenda is item number 4, approval of February 17th, 2026 council meeting minutes. Those are in your packets. I know you've had an opportunity to look those over. I'll ask for a motion to approve. Motion by Barnes.
Second.
Second by King. Any further discussion? Poll the members, please.
Barnes.
Aye.
Hilton. Aye. King. Aye. Ledford.
Aye.
Murphy.
Aye.
Trimble.
Item number 5 is February financial reports. These are in your packets. You've had an opportunity to review those. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to bring those forward. Item number 6 is department head and committee reports. We'll start tonight with our Chief of Police, Aaron Noel. Chief.
Good evening, council, members and citizens. Just a couple things. I laid out the stat sheets in front of you all. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about that? Nothing really crazy standing out. No serious events.
What's the extra patrol?
Extra patrols just been logging different businesses and residential streets, vacation checks. Our next coffee with the cop is scheduled at McDonald's. That's for next Friday, the 27th at 8 to 9:30. We started to get a little bigger turnouts with each one we do, so I encourage anybody to come up there and just hang out, grab a cup of coffee, or whatever your drink of choice is, and some food, and hang out with us. currently, we have 2 in the academy. A third is getting ready to start here in another week and a half. So that will put us back to full strength once they get out off FTO. Our Citizens Police Academy started last night. That is the inaugural one that we've never hosted before. So Lieutenant Price is heading that up. He's doing a terrific job so far. So that kicked off last night, and that'll be monthly Monday meeting and training for them. And then lastly, our K-9 grant was approved. We were still waiting to pick the first dog up from Ohio, and that should be sometime mid-April. Dogs are in. Just got to send Officer Powell up there to pick up the dog and get trained. That's pretty much it. It's quiet, it's good. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chief.
Code Enforcement Officer, Pam Murphy.
Statistics as everybody else has. So basically, this little bit we've been working on, our report that we're working on, a software package that's going to enable all the vendors to pick their spot, pay for it online. And with that being said, once they pick their spot, then the visitors can click on that spot and see what it is. And so we'll have a good database of who's selling crafts, who's selling food, who's selling electronics, all the different things that are being sold. So it's still in the development stage, but we're hoping to roll it out pretty soon. We're getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of interest in Fort Day, and we're going to be able to offer vendor parking and handicap parking this year, which we haven't been able to do. So that's been a big plus with everybody that's called. And as far as the code enforcement goes, we're mostly looking at trash cans and rubbish, things like that that have been left on the curb, and people parking in the yards. It's gotten muddy. So we're kind of calling people out and reminding them if they need to park in their driveways. And other than that, it's just kind of looking at the different properties that are, that need to be watched. Just some properties that need to be taken care of, yes.
Could you come up then, Starling Avenue, and look at the Kroger fence?
Okay.
It needs to be reported. It's falling down.
All right. Yeah, those dead end streets, I don't need to as often. Okay, yeah, I'll check that out. And of course the potholes, but I think we've all talked about that's not really all of us, that's the.
My neighbor, it's about to fall over on his house. Had that Maddox, this blast house on the right.
On the right.
I just passed this.
Okay. I'll check that
I
out.
think that's all Kroger. Isn't that right? BC Wood owns the shopping center until they get to Kroger, and then that's Kroger's responsibility.
I believe so, but we'll check, we'll verify that.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, anytime you see anything, I mean, the more eyes, the better it is. And along those lines, I forgot to say, I am speaking at the Residential Rental Association meeting tomorrow night, because I think landlords need to know what the ordinances are, that they need to follow, and they need to be able to pass it on to their tenants. And I think sometimes it's just, everybody thinks everybody already knows. So just want to give them the opportunity to know what we look for, and that, you know, if everybody takes care of it, if everybody does a little bit, then it really goes a long way toward making anything look good.
Is that going along a lot better since we had the meeting last year and put all the ordinance in? I mean,
Yes.
a lot less.
Yeah, nuisance ordinance has been a huge success.
And I've been trying to keep a list of the major landlords, because it's easier for me to call them and tell them if there's a
Yeah.
problem before sending a letter, and if we all know mail is no longer 7 days, it's 10 to 15 days sometimes.
If it gets,
So, you know, it's 2 weeks old by the time they get the information, and then they gotta tell it to their tenants. So, and they're not, I mean, it's not just landlords that have problems with tenants, it's everybody, but that just adds another layer when you have to go from the landlord to get to the tenant. So, anyway, if anybody sees anything, just keep letting us know.
Thank you, Pam. You're doing a great job. Building Inspector, Jim Johnson.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Things are picking up a little bit. We had 9 permits, 3 of those were demoed. We had 2 single-family homes. We got some solar going on in the Catholic Church. We got a variance for out Levy Heights, and we got 2 residential alterations. That sounds good, but 4 of those are in the county.
So, thank you, Jim. Did you have more?
No.
No. Just, so to clarify Jim's remarks, normally we don't cross our boundaries and do work in the county, but the county is without a building inspector right now, so we're doing what good local government does. We're mutually